Welcome to Love from the Hip, third show on Alternative Talk, 11:50 a.m. I am spiritual hypnotherapist, master esthetician, and your host, Sakura Sutter. If you are tuning in for the first time, Love from the Hip is all about helping people. On this program, I will not only spotlight guests that are making a difference in this world by helping people in their own way, but also following up with those that were hypnotized in my clinic and seeing out how it has helped them. Together, we can all make a difference, and it starts with love. Love from the Hip. So tune in every Wednesday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and join this raw, upfront, and unique conversation. Let's get our collective journey started with today's edition of Love from the Hip. Today, I will be interviewing life coach and Theta healer Lisa Rozzini Clay. But before I do, I wanted to let you know how Lisa and I came to know each other. This is actually the second time I am seeing Lisa face to face. Yet I spent all of last summer into the fall talking to her over the phone. Unable to work and very ill, I did not have any money to afford therapy, yet it was when I needed it the most. Lisa, who I'd never met, from the goodness of her heart, volunteered her services and agreed to help me for free. Despite the physical pain I was experiencing, I would try to drown it out each weekly remote session I had with her, which was very difficult. Most of the time that I was on the phone with Lisa, I was in a bath, which I took twice a day for 2 to 3 hours at a time because it was the only relief I had. And I really had no idea if Lisa could help me, but I was desperate to try anything. And ultimately, I believe emotional pain manifests in physical pain or dis-ease. In August, after receiving a few experimental treatments of Rituxan, a non-radiation cancer IV drug, changing to a vegan diet, adding supplements, and working with Lisa for a few months, my body started to heal. The open sores were beginning to close and the blisters lessened. Working with Lisa, I was already noticing improvements emotionally. A lot of the work I did with her led me to clearing up ancestral programming and trauma, aside from past life issues, and current day issues of getting over the relationship I had been in for way too long. It was hard for me to explain to my peers and family who are not spiritual how Lisa was able to help me. They never really asked, yet would often overhear me on the phone with her. I never told my doctor either because, unfortunately, Western medicine believes that medication is the cure-all. It takes an army to heal yourself. I embrace spiritual and holistic healing while undertaking Western medicine too. I'm going to get into how Lisa worked her magic with me today, but I wanted to thank her from the bottom of my heart because without her playing a part in my healing, I truly would not be here today. And so we're going to take a quick break and come back with Lisa Rozzini Clay.
Men, care for your skin properly, starting with your face. Sakura Skin and Mind offers their Gentleman's Groom Clinical Facial for just $120. Designed for your rugged skin, a deep cleansing clinical facial is like a 1-2-3 punch to wrinkles, age spots, and problem skin. Tame those brows, ears, and nostrils. Sakura Skin and Mind, erasing wrinkles one clinical facial at a time. Learn more at sakuraskinandmind.com. SAKURA, skinandmind.com.
Microneedling is a revolutionary treatment that can help reduce the appearance of acne scars, fine lines, pigmentation, wrinkles, even improve the appearance of stretch marks by stimulating collagen and elastin. Sakura Skin and Mind specializes in this procedure that jumpstarts your body's natural healing process. Sakura Skin and Mind believes in not only keeping the skin up to date with the latest trends in the skincare industry, but also keeping the skin beautiful, fast, pretty, painless, and affordable. Find out more at sakuraskinandmind.com. SAKURA, skinandmind.com.
Conversation you won't find on the rest of the dial. Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to Love from the Hip. This is your host, Sakura Sutter, and today I am interviewing Theta healer and life coach, Lisa Rozzini Clay. Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So I wanted to ask you, Lisa, how you got into Theta healing.
So going back to the beginning, when I was 19, I was driving in a car with 4 girlfriends, and we were driving. It was at night, and my friend had gotten a page or something, and we kind of did a U-turn. That's when there was pay phones and pagers, and to go back and find a phone. And as I was driving, a car kind of sped up to us. And my friend had mentioned something about a car, and I ended up turning off of the main road, and the car came behind us and shot one bullet into the back.
Gosh.
And hitting one of my best friends that sat behind me. And so we all kind of freaked out, and I drove to my friend's mom's house, and getting there, we all kind of got out of the car. I was kind of screaming, and all the neighbors came out. And anyway, the police and ambulance came. They took Tina and took us other girls to the police station and got our statements. And that's when we first learned that she had passed.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah. So anyway, I went home, and all of us girls shared apartments. So we kind of hibernated for a couple months, and then our parents came in and, got us out of there. And so I probably 4 years lived kind of a hermit life, working at night, sleeping during the day. And then I connected with a great friend of mine who owned a aromatherapy shop in Tacoma, and she did a guided meditation on me, which I had never done before.
Yeah.
And so she took me up the path into a tree with a table, and there was a pouch, and I opened the pouch, and she did some other stuff. And when she brought me out of the meditation, asked me what I had found. And at the time, I had found a smooth pink stone, I told her. And her mouth kind of dropped, and she was like, hold on, and ran out of the room, came back in with what I know now to be rose quartz.
Rose quartz, okay.
Yeah. So that opened this whole new path for me. So I...
Can I ask you what the significance of the rose quartz was?
Well, it's my favorite stone now.
Yeah.
And I just surround myself with it. It helps the heart chakra, the heart center. It connects your heart, heals your heart.
Okay.
So I began this path of kind of reading anything spiritual, anything that had to do with stones, aromatherapy, just really absorbing anything I could, probably for about 8 years.
Okay.
And then started getting healings done on myself, different modalities. And that went on for probably 6 years. And then I began getting certified in different modalities. I went to Bastyr and got certified in hypnotherapy. And that really helped me to continue to heal, and I was able to start giving back to others, helping others heal and facilitating healings. And then probably 4 years ago, I was introduced to Theta healing.
Okay.
And then I got certified in Theta healing, and then began doing Theta healing on my clients.
Okay. So what is Theta healing?
Theta healing is a meditation technique where the practitioner and the client are in a theta brainwave state. And when in that state, everything's very slowed down and relaxed. So you're able to access the subconscious mind where people hold a lot of their beliefs.
Okay. And so you mentioned also that you got certified as a hypnotherapist.
Yes.
So what is the difference between hypnotherapy and Theta?
So they're similar in that they're both meditations, both guided. With the Theta healing, there's the difference is they're always... So with Theta healing, I'm always working from the seventh plane.
Okay.
So when you're working from the seventh plane, you're working directly with Creator. So I'm really just the facilitator, and I'm witnessing it happen.
Mm-hmm. So you think it's more of a divine healing than it is like hypnotherapy? I think you're working more with the person's subconscious mind versus than divine healing.
Yes. Now that I have the Theta healing, when I do the hypnotherapy, I think I'm still working from the seventh plane, but it is, to me, it feels a little bit deeper and a little bit quicker of a healing process.
Okay. Yeah.
And then with the Theta healing, we also do muscle testing. And when you do muscle testing, there's some beliefs that you consciously might not know you have, but subconsciously you do. So by muscle testing, you can find beliefs that you might not be able to find without the muscle testing.
And I know you did this on me over the phone even.
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit more about muscle testing for the listeners?
Yes. So there's 2 different ways to do it. You can do a sway test where you're standing. And if I asked you if you had a certain belief and the answer was yes, you would sway forward. If the answer was no, you would sway backwards. And that would tell me if you had that belief or not. And then I would be able to go through the process of pulling that belief.
And is there another way too, other than sway?
Yeah, you can hold your pointer finger thumb on your left side and use your other finger from your pointer finger from your right side to also pull. If it's a yes, you would not be able to break that tension.
The bond. Yeah.
And if it's a no, you would break through.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So what are some of the issues that you see people for with Theta?
So a lot of different, some could be for illness. Some people have anxiety. Some people are just wanting to find their life purpose. There's people that want to find their life partner, and that's a huge help, being able to remove blocks that are keeping you from finding that person that you're seeking. And a lot of people are seeking that person, but with all those blocks in the way, sometimes it's hard to find them.
And they can't find them, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the most common thing that you see people for?
We tend to touch on it. Pretty much everyone touches on it at least a little bit.
Yeah, I imagine it's across the board.
Yeah, and if they're already in a relationship, then it just helps that relationship even more.
Okay, awesome. Well, we have to go to a quick break, but when we come back, I'm going to have you elaborate more on how Theta works with bringing in your soulmate.
Okay, great.
Peach fuzz is great if it's on a peach. Let Sakura Skin and Mind remove unsightly hair with dermaplaning. Although its primary purpose is to remove layers of dead skin, it's just one of the added benefits, leaving your skin baby smooth, safe, effective, fast, and affordable. What a concept! Sakura Skin and Mind wants you to look your very best, and dermaplaning is just one tool in their chest. Find out about dermaplaning at sakuraskinandmind.com. SAKURA, skinandmind.com. We bring out the healthy skin and healthy way of thinking you didn't know you had.
If you're planning on building a home or a major landscaping project, you'll want the team of Stone Resources on your side. Safely, effectively, and correctly working with our unique terrain requires local knowledge and environmental care. For 21 years, Stone Resources has been making sure their customers' biggest investment is on solid ground. Trust your next earth-moving project to Stone Resources. Call 425-754-6792. That's 425-754-6792. Stone Resources. We make the earth move. And remember, if you need dirt or have dirt to get rid of, you can call on us. 425-754-6792.
Your skin is your body's largest organ. Care for it properly, starting with your face. Sakura Skin and Mind offers several clinical facial treatments to help stimulate collagen production, eliminate toxins, boost circulation, and deeply cleanse. See a new you in your mirror. Clinical facials range from $90 and up. Do your face a favor. Sakura Skin and Mind, erasing wrinkles one clinical facial at a time. Learn more, sakuraskinandmind.com. SAKURA skinandmind.com.
An alternative to everything else on your radio dial. Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to Love from the Hip, and I am your host, Sakura Sutter. And don't forget to tune in every Wednesday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Today I'm interviewing Lisa Rozzini Clay, who is a life coach and a Theta healer. And we're just jumping into having her elaborate on how Theta actually helps bring in your soulmate. So how does it work?
So usually if somebody's wanting to find their soulmate or life partner, we'll start with removing some of the old beliefs, usually genetic beliefs that have been passed down the ancestral line. So that's just a process of going to where that belief originated. And then as we're doing that, we're clearing out obstacles from the path that's keeping them from meeting that person. And I'll usually do a visualization so they can detect that person out there, and we fill them with Creator's light. And that way they're connected, and then they can start the process of clearing the path to them.
Is that also kind of like a map and kind of putting that person on their radar so they can see how far away they are from them?
I would say yes. And then each session we'll check in and see how much closer or what else they need to address.
Okay. So each time they're clearing and removing the blocks, they're actually getting closer and closer to that soulmate?
I believe so. And that's how it feels. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So have you met your soulmate?
I have, I believe. I do believe we have more than one soulmate, but I've met my life partner, and yeah.
And was there a process for you?
Definitely. I had a lot of clearing of my path to do. And yeah, I did that work. I believe he was doing his own work at the time. And so I always said I wanted to meet when it was for our highest and best good.
Right.
And so he had gone through kind of a difficult time, and I had gone through a difficult time that we both kind of had worked through before we met.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's really important if not just you doing the work, but the other person as well, I would imagine.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many sessions do most people need, and how often?
It really depends on what they're looking for. They can do really deep work, or they may just want 1 or 2 sessions for a specific thing. It really just depends on how deep they want to go with their healing. I've had people come once or twice, and that might have been enough for them at the time.
Okay.
And then I've had people that come once a week or every other week. I do believe every other week for a good month and a half to 2 months is really beneficial.
Okay. All right. And do you feel like hypnotherapy, where you're going in for one issue, but then you're clearing up an array of other issues?
Yes.
Is that how Theta works as well?
Definitely. Everything is kind of tied together, kind of like an
onion.
Yes, layers, and then yarn ball where you're untangling one thing, and then it's untangling
connected
something
to another.
else.
Yeah.
Yes, and you can feel that all detangling as you do the work.
And how long are your sessions?
Anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. I really believe an hour and a half, you really can get into a deeper healing and address more.
Okay. Okay. So I know you did remote healing with me over the phone because I couldn't leave the house.
Right.
Do you offer this to all of your clients?
I do. I do like to see the client face to face the first session so that I can teach them the muscle testing and they can see my office where I work from. And then after that, depending on their location, they might live a little far, and with traffic, it's just easier for them to have a nice, clean space in their home where they're comfortable, and definitely can do healings over the phone or through Skype.
Okay. And do you think it's still as effective as in person?
I do,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Do you feel that there's been an increase in theta healing lately?
I would say yes, I do notice. I still go to classes, and I do notice, and I see that community growing.
Mm-hmm. And where is that community from? Do you know where it originated?
So a woman named Vianna Steibel, she created theta healing in the late 1990s.
Okay.
She actually healed herself from cancer.
Oh, wow.
And she teaches classes out of Montana.
Mm-hmm.
And so she teaches instructors, and then they go out to different communities and teach the practitioners. If you want to be an instructor, you have to go to Montana to do the instructor courses.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Wow. So it's actually a very large community then.
It is, and I do see it growing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why do you think that it's growing? What do you...
Well, I believe we need it. We need that healing, that group consciousness, especially right now. There's so much chaotic
Chaos.
energy, and
Yeah.
and so I see a lot more people open to healings and interested in healings. All of my clients came to me interested about what is healing, and
Yeah. And are you having to protect yourself when you do theta?
I'm automatically protected when you get certified, and I've been certified in other modalities that I'm just kind of automatically protected in Creator's Light. But I do before a session.
And I guess I should explain to the listeners, like,
Yes.
protecting yourself from other people's energy. And,
Yeah.
And being able to still provide healing without, being
Yes.
distorted or whatnot.
Yes, there's a definite process to prep so that you aren't taking on the client's energy. And you learn all of that. And I think over time as a healer, you just learn to automatically before a session, ground yourself, center yourself, surround yourself in light, so that you aren't giving them your energy and you're not taking their energy.
That makes sense. And then do you use theta yourself for your everyday life?
I do. Every morning I spend a minute. I'm not great at meditating. My mind wanders.
A lot of us are not great at it.
But I do a simple technique of gathering my energy that I've put out there and bringing it back to me and giving back any energy that I've collected.
Do you use it on your family?
I do every morning. I use it on the dog. I do everybody.
Does it work on teens?
I have a preteen. It's starting to work.
It's starting to work. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And I probably need to maybe. So you do see children then?
I have seen young women, teens. I actually work with my own daughter, my niece. I think it's amazing for young girls and boys, but for girls starting that path from girl to, young women to woman, that transition is so complicated.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's huge for them to get
and
this
boys
kind of work
too,
done.
just going
Yes.
through puberty, right?
Yeah.
So the concept they can actually grasp.
Absolutely. And I think they're almost more open to it than with talk therapy, which I think is very beneficial as well. This is a little more of an energetic healing, so they seem to be more receptive to it because they're not having to. They're having to work more with the energy than having to come up with the words of what's going on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And they seem probably more or more easily changed, right? They are just quicker to change than an adult.
Yes, because I believe when they're younger, they're not so set in their ways. They don't have as strong of a belief system. And that is a desire of mine to work with younger women and boys that
have issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to jump into ancestry and how that affects your theta healing processes. In this week's Skinny, I would like to discuss vitamin A. Studies have shown that a deficiency of vitamin A in the skin can cause cancer, psoriasis, eczema, and other skin conditions. Topical vitamin A is one way to normalize your skin and helps correct or even minimize your risks of having these issues. Vitamin A in the skin is destroyed by heat, light, and air, so it is important to replenish it. Why not just eat it, you ask? Well, because vitamin A taken orally may not even get into the skin, as it is the last organ to receive vitamins. But it also takes vitamin A taken orally 7 days to be restored, while it only takes 3 hours topically. Vitamin A is often compared to a hormone and is a huge potentiator of stem cells as well. Everyone should be using vitamin A, including children, because 80% of your sun damage is done by the age of 18. It takes 10 to 20 years for sun damage to surface. So what you may think is beautifully tanned skin now is actually going to be horribly aged or photo-damaged skin later. I recommend the vitamin A products from Environ and love their trademark Step Up program so that all ages and all skin types can get the daily topical vitamin A they need and the extra sun protection. Remember, you can go to my website, sakuraskinandmind.com, and schedule a consult to help you get on the right vitamin A for you.
Did you know that your skin is your body's first defense against disease and infection? Briotech knows and has developed their topical skin spray to enhance your skin's natural healing responses and defenses. Briotech is all about providing its customers products that help promote skin wellness. Briotech Topical Skin Spray is a light misting spray free of added fragrance, oil, alcohol, and parabens. All this protection without clogging your pores. It's a must addition to your all-around daily skincare regimen. Try Briotech, a collection of sprayers from 2 ounces to 8 ounces. With this bundle, you can have Briotech Topical Skin Spray wherever life takes you. All natural and safe to use from head to toe. Irritations, redness, post-procedure sensitivities? Get Briotech Topical Skin Spray today. Years in the making, doctor recommended, and available through Amazon. Learn more at briotechusa.com. That's BRIOTECHUSA.com. Support your skin at briotechusa.com.
Hypnotherapy helps you discover and explore deep, sustainable life changes. Let Sakura guide your communication with your unconscious mind. Rid yourself of negative behaviors, fears, pains, and emotions. Weight loss, smoking, childhood trauma, chronic pain, and much more can be addressed. Begin healing now. Just $100 for the first session. Learn more, sakuraskinandmind.com. SAKURA skinandmind.com. Bring out the healthy way of thinking you didn't know you had.
Tell your friends about Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to Love from the Hip, and I am your host, Sakura Sutter. And don't forget to tune in every Wednesday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Today I am interviewing Lisa Rozzini Clay, who is a life coach and a Theta healer. And we're just jumping right back in here. And I wanted to ask you about how relevant is it for people to know their ethnic background before doing a Theta session?
So they definitely don't need to know their background. They can still receive healing without that information. I do think the more information you have, the more specific you can get with your healing process. So regardless, your subconscious knows what you're holding inside and what beliefs you have. With the knowledge of your ethnic background, then you kind of know a little bit about that background. And so it just helps you access even more information.
Okay. I'm asking because obviously you've heard of Ancestry.com. Have you done it yourself?
I have not.
Okay. So I recently did it, and I've heard that it's kind of revealing more and more family secrets, and and that happened to me. So for the last 42 years, I believe that I was a quarter Spanish. I believe that my mother was half Spanish. I believe that my grandfather was born in Mexico City and his family was from Spain. However, when I got my results back, there was no Spanish. I was actually half Asian.
Yeah.
And kind of kind of put that aside, didn't think much of it, but then got the phone call from the family about removing my Facebook post about this reveal.
Yeah.
That my mother and my aunt may actually have a different father, a Japanese man. So I ended up finding out that I'm 50% Japanese and 0 Spanish. And this kind of ties into when I was doing my healing with you. Ancestry came up a lot for us in the programming, and a lot of it was all my Japanese side. And I kept wondering why there was no Spanish brought up whatsoever. Right. And so now it seems very clear to me. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. So I just wondered if, it played a part and if people needed to know.
Yeah, I think any information is going to help, but I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
I think you already have that information subconsciously. It's just easier to access if the more information you have, I think.
And to kind of explain to the listeners, when you were working with me and going back with my ancestry, I mean, we were going back some generations there. So how far back do most people go?
Usually with the Theta healing, if it goes back further than 9 generations, you're complete with whatever that issue is and whatever's been passed down. So you can kind of clear it automatically. If it's 6, 7 generations back, I just ask to be taken back to the point of origin, wherever that trauma happened or whatever situation happened to put that block or that issue in place. So then by going back to where it originated, we can release it off of the entire genetic line up to the client and to their offspring.
I was going to say, and then moving forward to my child.
Yes.
Right?
So that as she, grows and gets into life, she can be without that as well.
And what would you say are some of the things that pass through with each generation? Like
a lot of religion comes up, organized religion, a lot of illness, fears, phobias, a lot of stuff. I believe traumas create that negative energy, that emotion, and through that can come dis-ease in the body, and that can manifest as some illness. So by going back and clearing some of those old beliefs and trauma patterns, then you're clearing that illness that may be manifesting. And it could be an allergy, or it could be cancer. It could be something minor or major.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you feel it's important that you jump right into ancestral, or is it something that just comes up on its own?
Yeah, it definitely, there's 4 different levels in Theta healing that you can clear. There's core, soul, history, and ancestral, genetic. And so usually I'll clear all 4 levels and then resolve it on a history level just to make sure everything's covered. But when you're guided to go back to origin, it's usually a genetic belief that's in place.
Okay. And so how long does it take you to go? I mean, you and I worked together for quite some time. How long does it typically take you to go through all 4 systems?
It's automatic.
Okay.
Yeah. I just ask Creator to clear all 4 levels. And so, yeah, that happens right away.
Okay. Yeah. So what are some of the changes that people start to see as they're working with you with Theta?
I think definitely more peace of mind, more peace in their life. They usually will come back because, okay, now things are shifting, and now that feels uncomfortable because what is all this shifting? And so then we'll do a session.
What's all this happiness?
Yes, I know.
It's all positive. What's going on?
Right. And so they'll do a session. We'll do a session on just letting that natural, flow happen, the integration. Yeah. We integrate after every session so that as the changes come, they don't feel so uncomfortable.
And then it also, I'm sure, like hypnotherapy affects the people around us, right?
Oh, yes. Everyone around you starts shifting. And, there's the difficulty of relationships shift. So some relationships start to fade out and new ones come in. So just breathing through the process and letting it unfold naturally can be difficult. And so then there's that, having a session on just having faith and letting it all unfold naturally for always for the highest and best good.
Yeah, trusting in divine time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of downloads in Theta, downloading creator's perspective on faith, divine trust. And once you have those downloads, it feels more comfortable as those shifts start happening, because a lot of good things start happening, and that can be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you're not used to that. It's like, what, I've been asking for this, but now it's happening, and whoa.
Right. Yeah. So when you were talking about relationships, and so when you're working with someone, then can you explain a little bit more? So you bring the person up, right? So they're vibrating on a higher level, and so their match may not be their match anymore if they're not able to rise up, or...
Yeah, I believe that with relationships, I've worked with a lot of people and had my own situations where you're in a relationship where their frequency might not be where yours is, especially if you're doing healings and, becoming a better you and spiraling up, and that person's just not able to meet that frequency. And it's just where they're at. So I think, especially as women, sometimes we want to,
pick everyone up.
Yeah, like save the world type of thing. But just honoring that your own path, and then realizing maybe that person's not on your frequency, and then you have to decide if you're going to spiral down to meet with them or just live that different frequency.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So you were obviously involved in my healing, and I have a very rare autoimmune disorder. How do you think Theta assisted in my healing?
Well, I think you were so open to going where you needed to go to release a lot of the old belief systems and the old trauma patterns that you carried from your ancestors and just in your own life. When you're open as you were, you receive a deeper healing, and you were consistent, and you really dedicated time to your healing process. I think that's huge when you just take the good, the bad, and the ugly and lay it out and just address it. You heal on a deeper level, because it's a lot to look at all that past stuff, and it can be scary for some people. But when you just trust the process, and you trusted me, and you didn't even know me, so that was big too, because there has to be that trust.
Yeah, and honestly, I was in so much pain.
I'll trust
any more
you.
pain, that, and also just any more pain didn't even matter. It was just so numb on the pain.
Yeah.
So did you? I mean, I know I had sent you pictures too, and how awful it was, and never having met me. Did you seem like, you were super confident that you could take it on? And was there ever a time where you felt like, I can't do this anymore? Or
no, it felt right to me when we were connected, or when I was, I can't remember if I called you or you called me, but when we were connected, it just felt right. Like, we're going to do this and see what happens. And
And were you able to be confident too, because of your relationship with Creator? Did you feel?
Absolutely. I believe my process with you really deepened my own intuition, and really set me in my technique and what I offer as a healer. It really helped me as well.
Well, yeah. I I feel like I can't give you enough thanks. So however way I could have helped you,
Yes, I believe definitely you helped me. As much, but you had your experience, and
and you had yours. Yeah. And do you believe, with hypnotherapy, we constantly bring in people that we're dealing with an issue. Right. And we kind of heal through them, if you will.
Absolutely.
So was that part of it for you too with me?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. It just deepened my healing ability and helped me heal other parts of my life that I needed. I believe we're all connected, and as I heal, you heal, and
It's funny because I was a skeptic of Theta. I didn't know anything about it.
Right.
I was just told by my colleague, like, no, you need to call her. She's going to help you.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just sign me on.
Yeah.
So, but you get over it, and I'm proof. I'm sitting here today.
Yeah.
It's proof that it works.
That's amazing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to go to a quick break.
Okay.
But when we come back, Lisa's going to actually do a mini Theta session.
Okay, great.
If you're planning on building a home or a major landscaping project, you'll want the team of Stone Resources on your side. Safely, effectively, and correctly working with our unique terrain requires local knowledge and environmental care. For 21 years, Stone Resources has been making sure their customers' biggest investment is on solid ground. Trust your next earth-moving project to Stone Resources. Call 425-754-6792. That's 425-754-6792. Stone Resources. We make the earth move. And remember, if you need dirt or have dirt to get rid of, you can call on us. 425-754-6792.
Hypnotherapy helps you discover and explore deep, sustainable life changes. Let Sakura guide your communication with your unconscious mind. Rid yourself of negative behaviors, fears, pains, and emotions. Weight loss, smoking, childhood trauma, chronic pain, and much more can be addressed. Begin healing now. Just $100 for the first session. Learn more, SakuraSkinandMind.com. SAKURA skinandmind.com. Bring out the healthy way of thinking you didn't know you had.
Did you know that your skin is your body's first defense against disease and infection? Briotech knows and has developed their topical skin spray to enhance your skin's natural healing responses and defenses. Briotech is all about providing its customers products that help promote skin wellness. Briotech Topical Skin Spray is a light misting spray free of added fragrance, oil, alcohol, and parabens. All this protection without clogging your pores. It's a must addition to your all-around daily skincare regimen. Try Briotech, a collection of sprayers from 2 ounces to 8 ounces. With this bundle, you can have Briotech Topical Skin Spray wherever life takes you. All natural and safe to use from head to toe. Irritations, redness, post-procedure sensitivities? Get Briotech Topical Skin Spray today. Years in the making, doctor recommended, and available through Amazon. Learn more at briotechusa.com. That's BRIOTECHUSA.com. Support your skin at briotechusa.com.
Men, care for your skin properly, starting with your face. Sakura Skin and Mind offers their Gentleman's Groom Clinical Facial for just $120. Designed for your rugged skin, a deep cleansing clinical facial is like a 1-2-3 punch to wrinkles, age spots, and problem skin. Tame those brows, ears, and nostrils. Sakura Skin and Mind, erasing wrinkles one clinical facial at a time. Learn more at sakuraskinandmind.com. SAKURA skinandmind.com.
Seattle, Tacoma, Antwerp. That's right. We're streamed worldwide on our app and on the web at 1150kknw.com.
Welcome back to Love from the Hip, and I am your host, Sakura Sutter. And don't forget to tune in every Wednesday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. And I have here with me Lisa Rozzini Clay, and we're about to jump into her doing a mini Theta session on me on the air today. We don't have a whole lot of time, so we're going to make this brief, but just to give you guys a taste of what Theta is all about. And so go ahead, Lisa.
So first, I'm just going to take you up to the 7th plane, and just to keep it kind of subtle and brief, if you could think of a time maybe in the past week or recently where you had some kind of interaction that left you feeling maybe uneasy or negative, or it's just kind of hanging on your mind, we can go ahead and address that in just a brief technique. So go ahead and take a deep breath. Go ahead and center in your heart. And just imagine your soul, that essence, starting to glow in your heart until it forms a ball of light. And then imagine that ball of light moving out the top of your head, leaving your physical body, moving out into the universe, through the bright lights and then dark lights, going higher through more bright light and then dark lights, and into a pink light of compassion, then through a dark light, and then through a jelly-like substance, kind of an orangey color, then moving back into the dark, and then off in the distance, moving into an iridescent blue light, and going into that light and letting that expand into you so it completely consumes you. As you expand into that light, you become one with that light. And this is the 7th plane, connecting you to Creator. And now I'm just going to witness Creator doing the healing as I facilitate. Just want you to go back and imagine that interaction that left you feeling uneasy and discomfort energetically. And let me know when you're in that space.
Mm-hmm. I'm there.
Okay. So just imagine what's going on and everything that's happening. Imagine where you are. And imagine that interaction with that person. I'm going to go ahead and ask Creator, with your permission, to please pull all of your soul fragments left in that situation with that person, sent to Creator's light, washed and cleansed and returned to you, and integrated back in. And any soul fragments that are not yours, sent to Creator's light, washed and cleansed, and returned to their appropriate places. And then beginning to separate you out from that situation, that person. Just pulling any energetic attachment. And just witnessing Creator doing all of that. And asking Creator to please fill that person with Creator's unconditional love, and filling you with Creator's unconditional love. And just showing you that that was then and this is now. And then just with your permission, asking Creator to download and teach you Creator's definition of divine faith, divine trust in that process. And then let me know when that feels complete.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just an example of one of the processes that I actually do every morning, or if I was in a crowded space or somewhere where something happened,
Mm-hmm.
I will do that process, and it really helps me start my day kind of fresh. Anybody who's empathic or sensitive and takes on other people's energy, that's a really good technique to start fresh without, sending that person's energy back to them and claiming your energy back.
No, absolutely. And I mean, you weren't asking me on the air here, but as you're talking, what I'm seeing, it's like almost seeing these pixels on this TV, and everything's separating, and then also I was seeing like almost like two vines completely intertwined, and then starting to separate one by one.
Yes, because we create these attachments. So by releasing them, you have more free will. It's more your energy you're dealing with than your energy and their energy. So you just takes out that stress and anxiety of carrying everyone's energy.
Yeah, and I would imagine this would be very helpful also for people that are kind of caretakers when people are dying.
Absolutely.
Right? And even when the person has gone, they're still troubled
Yes.
And they're still attached, right?
Yes, because you can take that experience, fill it with Creator's Light, and still have that part of it. But when you're carrying their stuff and your stuff, that becomes heavy and it becomes blocks in your energy. And so it's important to separate that out.
And I bet that also works for abusive relationships as
Absolutely.
well. People get tied into.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and you think it's like, as far as how many sessions, I mean, how long you've been with the person and how long the relationship was, all kind of plays a factor.
I think it just depends on how deep of a healing how deep in their healing process they want it to go, and maybe they're just really ready to be done with that belief. So, it just totally depends. It could clear within one session, or they have one session and then they realize, oh, I have some more stuff I want to clear. It's kind of a maintenance thing too.
Right.
I have some clients, they'll deal with a big thing and then kind of come back for maintenance.
Well, I imagine too, there's triggers, right? Of things that we suppress and then something happens.
Yes. And in Theta, we also work to release the triggers. We find the triggers and release the energy around the triggers, so that you've learned that lesson. You no longer need to learn it in this life or any other life.
Yeah.
And so that that helps to not become triggered anymore.
So I want to ask you, just for the listeners, as far as doing the meditation and going from light to dark to light.
Yes.
What's that about?
Well, it's a way to get your mind into a theta state. So I move swiftly, so you're not thinking about it, but you're just moving up out of your body into the universe and then going up to that seventh plane. You have to go through the different planes. The seventh plane, you're directly connected to Creator. I always work from the seventh plane, and I am just facilitating, holding space. Creator is doing the healing, and I'm witnessing it happen.
Okay. And has this given you a closer relationship to Creator?
Absolutely. I always kind of, I believe in God,
are you a religious
or higher
person,
power.
or?
I was baptized Catholic, but no.
Yeah.
And so I, through family, yes, I believe in God, that type of thing. But it's through Theta, I really found a connection.
And why do you think that is?
Just by going through the process of going to the seventh plane, feeling what it's like, bringing Creator into my life every day, and building that faith, that trust, that belief.
And seeing how it works for all your clients, I imagine.
Yes.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell our listeners how to find you, Lisa?
Yeah, I can be found through my website, lisarclay.com, or text or phone 206-696-4700.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Well, we have to come to a close for today, but thanks again, Lisa.
Yeah.
And sharing your story with us, and as traumatic as that was as well. But, and sharing with us the gift of healing that you offer. It's fabulous.
Thank you.
I would also like to thank my incredible producer, Eric, for all the magic. And lastly, you, the listener. Without you, this show would not be possible. You can find me at lovefromthehip.com or sakuraskinandmind.com. Also, please like me on Facebook at Love From The Hip and follow me on Instagram at Love From The Hip, and that's HYP. And remember, if you are interested in being hypnotized and sharing your experience later on the air, or have questions or comments, please email me at sakura@lovefromthehip.com or call 206-730-7429. Tune in next Wednesday at 2 p.m. and make self-love contagious. Go ahead. I dare you. Welcome to this weekly segment called Get Hip. Today, Lisa Rozzini Clay was describing how ancestral or genetic programming can get passed down and create blocks in our current life. Oftentimes, our own past lives can also pass down programming. For instance, you have a severe fear of open water, yet never have had a traumatic experience in this lifetime that would give you reason to. In hypnotherapy, when we are trying to find the root cause in past incarnations, we call this past life regression. With this technique, one is able to recount memories from other lifetimes, bringing them into conscious awareness in hopes they can release the emotional blockage that keeps one stuck in a pattern or program. It can be very effective as long as one is open to it, and it can provide a lot of clarity. It is amazing how a past life can play out like a movie, except as you see it unfolding, you begin to remember not just the experience, but the emotions that were attached to those experiences as well, which makes it hard to believe to be unreal or a fantasy. I myself underwent past life regression and saw quite a few of my past lives play out before me. Most were very traumatic. The one that sticks out for me was set in ancient Egypt. I have always had an extreme fascination for anything Egyptian and actually wanted to be an Egyptologist. I performed the process of mummification in 4th grade for show and tell, for goodness sakes. In this past life, I was a pharaoh's daughter and had a romantic relation with a slave, which was very forbidden. My father had found out about it and sentenced my slave lover to death. By doing this, he took away his afterlife. I felt so guilty, as well as jaded by my own wealth, and I felt I could never have true love. Those feelings carried over into this lifetime and became programs. The guilt, the view I have on wealth, and the feeling that I could never have true love because ultimately, true love equaled tragedy. After recognizing them, I was able to release them as well.